Right, guys, just want to check everyone can hear me because we're going to get started. So let's have a look. I just got to get started. So, good morning and welcome. This is a webinar from the Grow My SME scheme, and it's funded by the EDIF, where it's to help SMEs across the Humber. Today's webinar is going to be on the benefits of remote working. We're going to give different tools and tactics of how we can work effectively remotely. So just a bit of background on me. I'm a co-founder of ThinkCloud. We're a managed IT and service provider, specialising in security as well. 150 customers across the north of England, helping SMEs, local government, Ministry of Defence and Supply Chain, manufacturing, engineering and financial sectors. And also outside of that, I'm also a trustee and I help with the strategy of Andy's Man Club, one of the fastest mental health charities in the UK. And I'm going to be giving some insights today around that, because with COVID, we had to react and take that charity online, fully digital. So remote working was paramount to making sure that that charity could continue to move forward and save lives as it does. So ThinkCloud, a bit about us. Our mission is to help our customers succeed through the adoption and use of digital technology. My mission today is to help you guys understand the benefits of remote working and how that technology can benefit yourselves and your businesses. Bit of background on us as a business. It's our 17th year anniversary this year, and business partners have started on a big journey in terms of specialising in Microsoft and G Suite. To today, working as associates of Winning Moves and helping through the Digital Catalyst programme, which you'll find out a bit more today. So today, my knowledge and my expertise are going to be given around the helping companies work remotely and work digital, as we've been doing. So, topics we're going to cover: 6 benefits of remote working from home, how disruptions to our everyday workflows are creating a new opportunity to embrace change, and remote working, as we call it, the CPR, which is critical at the moment, and effective communication, a big challenge which we see around technology. People are always looking to collaborate and be more productive and be more agile the way they're working, but it always comes down to effective communication, and it's making sure that we lay the foundations right, so that when we want to go digital, we've got the right people, the right process, the right technology to really drive that. So the world of remote work has changed, and remote work is now the new normal. And this presents challenges, but also presents opportunities for us as businesses. And one of them is it allows for a better work-life balance. We can get more done. We've got more flexible schedules, and we can work based on outcomes. So this is a key factor when we're looking at working from home. We've got to really ask ourselves the questions, and we've got to be more outcome focused, because we need to be more effective within our work. Again, other benefits. The average commute is 27 minutes each way, so that's nearly an hour that employees can save. So that's 100 hours of commuting and 40 hours of traffic. So we get to reduce stress. With that extra time, that really does provide a real good work-life balance. And there's benefits to that in terms of we can be more effective in our home lives, which obviously impacts massively on our work lives. We've got location independence. So this is a massive benefit of of post-pandemic. We're calling it post-pandemic protection. Is COVID's accelerated companies and businesses to the cloud, because they need to collaborate and need to connect more remotely, and that sets up a really, really good benefit in terms of location independence. We've got increased access to skills, lower costs. So some examples of that, what we're seeing within businesses. Previously, employees leaving to relocate, and you'd lose a skill set because they couldn't be in the office. We're now seeing with our customers and other businesses in our sector, people are now being re-employed who used to formerly work with them, but they can now add value. A good example of that is a business development manager that had emigrated to Australia. They were still able to pick up some of their work remotely. They're still doing some parts of their previous work. So location can no longer be a hindrance. It can actually be a benefit. So it's looking at that as a massive benefit because we've got increased access to skills, and obviously at lower cost because we're not paying for travelling, we're not paying for commute, we're paying for functional time that can be benefited as a business, and also personal. Then there's money savings. Staff can save thousands. No fuel, no car maintenance, transport, parking fees, professional wardrobes, like we've all seen. And I think that was one of the big benefits, which I haven't mentioned too much in this slide deck. But I think people's got to, we've got to see people for who they are, how they are, in their own work-life balances. I think that's a massive benefit. In that, it's not just faceless anymore. But businesses can also save up to £8,500 per employee, so no overheads, property, transit, subsidies, continuity. So it's a massive benefit in saving money. Happier, healthier workforce. If we've got happier, more loyal employees, we're going to be more productive, and we've got an opportunity to work around our staff and our teams to use technology to pivot to allow them to get the job done more effectively. We can improve personal relationships, and 72% impacts on employee retention. A good example of this, and this was many years prior to COVID, I was recruiting a job role in a previous business I was involved in, and to get this skill set for this FD, we had to pivot and allow this FD to take his children's school. We had the technology so we could do that, and we also managed on outcomes, not on time he was in the office. So you've got to really understand, when we speak to our employees, speak to our teams, how can we make it easy for our staff and our teams to get the job done? And if that means that a member of staff working from home on a Monday or a Tuesday, it might be to nip to go see the children's play. As long as they've got the tools and the technology to get the job done, we need to be really focused on outputs rather than time spent. So again, sixth benefit: increased productivity and performance. Like I've been mentioning, we've got employee engagement, improved productivity, increased profitability. If we can work around our staff, and our staff can work around their life balance, they can schedule their work so they get less disruptions. 65% of professionals think they're more productive working remotely, and during COVID, 60% of workers would prefer to work remotely. So it is a big change, and it's something that we need to be looking at, of how we can really pivot and use this post-pandemic to change the way that work gets done. And it's never been more important that we use our digital tools and this disruption to really innovate and really push the way that we get digital work done now. So disruptions to our everyday workflows, as I've mentioned, this is creating a massive opportunity for us to embrace change. And within the technology sector, we're always going through change management, and there's a new app, there's a new feature, there's a new benefit, and we've got to train and we've got to get staff and employees to really drive and adopt digital technology. And for me, and what we're seeing in the industry is this is a really good opportunity for all businesses to embrace change, and change is the new constant. We've got to make sure that we could go into lockdown again. We're already seeing that again, and the power of 6 at the moment. So we're having to pivot and change on a daily, hourly basis, so that we can still be effective within our outputs for our businesses. So COVID has accelerated people and businesses everywhere towards remote and flexible work. So workers who work from home multiple days a week. Prior to COVID, 3.6%. After COVID, 25 to 30%. And a survey conducted said that the intended to shift, 74% intended to shift some previously on-site employees to remote work. So this is, not going away. This is a big factor, and the way we work is going to change forever, or it is changing forever. And because of this, I want to really stress this, even before COVID, work was more demanding from us. We had more information to manage. Typical number of files a large organisation had was 12,000 files across multiple apps. The average enterprise uses over 125 applications to do different options in its business, and was working with more people, more stakeholders, you know, and of tasks, 66% involved interacting with a colleague. Now, let's catapult that forward now, and working remotely. This problem's not going away. It's going to get more challenging because, like now, I'm presenting to you guys in a remote webinar. We lose, you know, 50%, if not more, of our communication skills. We lose body language, reading the room, talking back. So effective communication is such a challenge for businesses in terms of working remotely. And the big challenge on top of that, we're going to be working from more places. So 75% of organisations have expanded their work from home policies. And on top of that, we've even got even more personal responsibilities. So 61 hours spent per week with childcare, elder care, housework. And this is the big challenge that we face. We're spending too much time jumping from app to app. You know, an average worker spending about 2 minutes using a digital tool before switching to another digital tool. We spend a lot of time searching. You know, 20% out of our time is spent searching for information and on menial tasks. So knowledge workers are spending 41% of the time on unimportant tasks. That was from a Harvard business review. So this all presents challenges for us all that we need to tackle. And it's harder than ever to focus on deep or high impact work. And a big challenge, as we say, CPR. So this is one of the secrets that we believe is going to have a massive impact, and all businesses need to understand the importance of CPR. That means that they need to have systems and design systems and tools so they can create and connect with flexibility, so they can collaborate. They need to have active real-time insights and data insights to really manage so they are effective in their productivity, and they need to be able to operate with agility so we can rapidly innovate and really push the boundaries. And before I go on to the next sort of slide to push on that, in terms of effective communication, as organisations, we really need to understand how we're going to get work done to benefit in the future. And it all comes down to me for an effective communication strategy. And today I'm going to teach you the tips and give you a framework of what we teach, what is effective communication. But the next slide shows, and this was post-COVID, this is how many businesses used to try and communicate and collaborate online. And this is what I deem as ineffective communication.
Trip Crosby
has joined the meeting. Beth has joined the meeting.
Hello?
Tyler?
No, this is Beth from ICS.
Oh, hey, Beth. How are you doing?
Oh, good. Yeah. Just making it, you know.
Tyler?
Has joined the meeting.
All right, well, this is Trip. Who's here? Tyler's here.
Beth's here.
Okay, the purpose of today's meeting is to discuss the...
Yeah, I'll be able to do it in like 30 minutes. John?
Has joined the meeting.
Hi, John. Hi. I was just trying to go over the purpose of today's meeting, which is to discuss the deliverable. Tyler?
Has joined the meeting.
Sorry, guys, I got cut off. Is Paul here? Send him an invite.
Put in your access code.
No, that's your PIN number.
It should be a 9-digit number.
Try pressing the pound key.
Paul.
Has joined the meeting.
Any questions before we move on?
Yes, this is Beth. What's our best plan of attack for the second quarter?
Question actually...
We should do...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I think
Well,
what we should do...
It actually depends on how you look at it, because the
really come...
As we can see, it's never been more challenging to communicate effectively. I think that is one of the biggest challenges organisations are always facing, pre or post COVID, and to really define what effective communication is within their organisations. So, innovation is simply, doing the same things a little bit better. And really pushing to do new things. And that's the difference between innovation and disruption. So innovation, as I see it, is just adding continual value to your customer journey. And whether that be your external customers or your internal customers, I class that as your staff and your people. We've got to really keep looking at the way we do things and questioning how can we be better tomorrow than was today, and really questioning, like childlike wonder is, why do we do this process the way we do it, and is there a better way to do it, and how can we do that better, and really trying to push to simplify, and looking at doing things new, and really pushing that sort of innovation around how we collaborate and how we communicate. So I'm going to give an example. There's different tools out there. So there's Microsoft, Google, Zoom. There's tons of tools out there. And I'm going to give you an example today. So I noticed on the questions prior to that, if we can understand different tools that we could be using. And I'm a big fan of Google's G Suite. We also specialize in Microsoft as well, but I'll give an example. And this is an example that we've pivoted Andy's Man Club up into the cloud, all 28 clubs, I think it is now, growing. We're expanding, well, they're expanding, and we're doing that through the use of technology. And we did this, and this is like a presentation I presented and a business case plan we put together based on effective communication. So to give some sort of lessons and insight back into that, Andy's Man Club is a mental health charity, and its value proposition is on a Monday night. We have a club at 7 o'clock where men come to talk about their mental health and the mental health issues. Right, with COVID happening, that just couldn't be done anymore, and we wasn't allowed to have in-person groups or meetings. It caused a huge challenge for the charity. We're working with tens of thousands of men each month, each week, and saving lives is just, we have to continue, and we have to make sure that we can still offer and value that, that valuable service. So we came together, we innovated, we did a sprint, a digital design sprint. We looked at different solutions out there and weighed the cost versus the impact and the benefits. And Google G Suite in this instance was chosen, and it was chosen on, for the charity, it was a new place for home, new place that could get work done, and that strategy was pivoted on everybody being mobile first. We wanted to get the clubs back up and running online on a Monday, so there's a digital version of the club and the facility, so we could still provide that one-to-one meeting with feedback, interaction, that was so desperately going to be missed due to COVID. So introducing your new work for home is a mobile device, and then in this instance, not only was it just a mobile device, one product had innovated and brought all of the communication tools together. So within the business version of G Suite, you could use Gmail, chat, rooms, and Meet, and integrated that into one app, everything in one place, on one device, with the same unique features across all. So bringing together all core elements, so email, chat, voice, video, collaboration on documents, all within one simple user interface. Had best-in-class chat at the core, and that was one of the key sort of functions, with so many people in so many different locations, trying to manage the different challenges that was facing. There was emails coming in, there was WhatsApp messages, text messages, phone calls, all siloed communication. So when we mapped that out and we looked at that strategy, we needed to funnel everything back into one core central. So effectively, as we teach, one of the frameworks we teach and we really push is, what tools are you using to collaborate with your stakeholders internally and externally? So email is a great example. I believe email should be used externally for stakeholders and internally for information only, and real work should get done in chat and scheduled into meetings. So we should have scheduled meetings, and then in between that, interruptions should be chat within a focused activity, either an area or a project room, so we can really focus and get deep and meaningful work done. Because again, fast moving chat is more than an email. We can keep up to speed on context, we can keep up to speed on if there's a file that needs to be talked about, or another email comes in, that can go into the chat room, and you can see in live real time. Also, we can have a bit more fun with it. You know, we all use chat ourselves in WhatsApp messages and Facebook, all these different ones, Twitter, where we can have a bit more fun, a bit more expressive. We can use GIFs, we can use videos, we can use more, and it can be more expressive than email. How many times have you been in email where you've not been CC'd in or not copied in, or you're copied into bloody everything? So it's making sure that you can keep an angle in that sort of area and catch up. Another good example of that is some people love email. I like email for a point in terms of I like it for information only. But again, in this instance, I'm a trustee on Leeds Man Club, for example. I don't want to be emailed and chatted with everything. I just need to be in the loop in certain things. So my system was configured so I do get an email, but I just get an email at the end of the day, and it summarizes from all the different chat rooms what's going on, so I can get a feedback and understand what's going on. And that was the same for the other trustees and different stakeholders who need to be informed, but maybe not as involved. So that's a good example. Again, jump into meetings. So see important meeting details from your calendar and jump in and join. Again, this is about using technology so everything is in one place. So a meeting might jump up, a calendar invite might jump up, and it's just making sure from one device or one display, you can see the meeting, you can jump straight in, and we're trying to take away boundaries to bring everything together. We need to be able to connect quickly. Never been more important. You know, I want to be able to start a voice or video call with someone at just a tap. And we're going to see that even more and more and more now businesses have gone to remote working. We've all done that where we're working with a colleague and they might not understand it, we might need to brainstorm, get a whiteboard out and just go through an idea. So we might need to jump on and do a quick screen share or just collaborate, and you can't be one-to-one communication like this where we're speaking, we're communicating, because you can still use your hands and you can still use your body language a bit more, and you can connect in real time, where an email, this could be 5, 6, 7, emails back and forth, information getting missed, you get into your email, you get distracted by something else. It's always about coming back all the time to deep focused work, and being able to use the tools so you can really jump in and dive into that deep and meaningful work. So we need to be able to connect quickly. We need to be able to collaborate on projects. So keep project members on the same page with shared communications, files and tasks. Just making sure we're choosing solutions or designing solutions that really quickly give us a single pane of glass. So in this instance, for example, we can use a chat room that's got chat within it, it's got files in it. We can also start assigning tasks to it. And this is when we're starting to come back to effective communication. So we're measuring our outcomes. We've got a focused area where we can chat and communicate on that project to keep everyone else involved. And we've also got tasks where we can assign tasks to people so we can measure different outcomes and different inputs, so we can keep people up to speed, we can collaborate, we can communicate, and we can get deep and meaningful work done. Again, we need work, as I've already mentioned, 129, I think, average apps some of the larger organizations have. No longer can we say that I only use G Suite, or I only use Microsoft 365, or I only use these different tools. We need to make sure that our tools integrate with different third parties so we can keep accessing our favorite apps in the context of the conversation. So you might have a CRM where you need to integrate that. And again, what we're starting to see now more than ever is companies being able to innovate. So you might obviously use email and you might be using your CRM, but you can bring them messages into your chat rooms, you can collaborate, you can communicate, and you can keep getting work done with integrations. So that is key, making sure that your solution stack allows you to plug powerful third-party integrations in. We also need to seamlessly move between comms. We need to jump into a call from a chat, forward a message to an inbox, create a task from a message, create a room from an email. We just need to instantly be able to pivot and just everything come together. We no longer can we be waiting for IT to set up this room or that room. We need IT to be managing our security and making sure that we've got the infrastructure so we can seamlessly connect. We have got the network speeds, we are optimized, and we need to start empowering our teams and our workforces to have the right digital tools and the right digital skills so they can seamlessly move between comms. And that comes with having the right solution mapped out fit for the business. again, we need to be able to search across all multiple channels. So find all of our communication in this example from within Gmail and bring it all together. So in this instance, for example, and back to the Andy's Man Club charity example, they need to be able to find information fast in one place. We can do that because everything's filtered in and it's into one spot. And we're using the power of that Google search function to bring all that information together to service the requests in real time. And we need to be able to collaborate fluidly, chat with your team, jump into a shared file and assign and track project tasks all from one place. And again, as I keep showing here, mobile first, pushing mobile first as a true digital strategy to make things better together as a team. We need to collaborate in context. So this is, one of the big challenges a lot of companies are facing. They've got all these different tools, so your Zooms, your Slacks, Office Outlook, or they might be using Gmail, but they might not have it integrated, or they might not be using the right version because it just changes so fast as technology. But a good example of this is with Andy's Man Club again, collaborating in context was key. They had multiple apps they was using. They was using an app for a meeting here, an app for an email. And once we went to remote working, we lost screen real estate. No longer can we quite easily have multiple monitors because we're working from mobile devices or laptops, or it got challenging. So it's making sure that you've got tools that bring all that together. In this example, Google's G Suite brings all this together. So not only can you be in your email or your chat room or looking at your tasks, you've also got the meeting going on in the same screen. So we can communicate, we can collaborate, we can chat, we can get work done, and we can be more productive and more effective within our remote working. So again, this is just going to look at, the next slide is going to give you an example of what I believe effective communication can look like into the future. It's available now, and this is what all organisations, I believe, should be designing their communication strategy around, so it's fluid like this. So that's an example of effective communication, and looking at that, it is a strategy that we teach in the framework that we use ourselves, and we also teach our customers to employ this strategy, or look at least work into a documented strategy. And we think it's simple in terms of real four key steps. We always want to be scheduling face-to-face meetings to be effective. Number one, so people are nicking our time. And prior to COVID, that was a face-to-face meeting. Let's jump into a meeting. Let's have an effective meeting that's planned, that's agended, and ultimately starting that meeting asking, what is the outcome you want from this meeting? What can I do? So we're really effective. We're not having meetings just for meetings. Because we need to be eliminating drive-by meetings. We need to avoid drive-by meetings unless it's an absolute red flag. And the way we can sort of manage that, and let's go prior to COVID, this is the model that we teach, and this is the model we live by. We can't be having a drive-by meeting because it just stunts productivity. People aren't prepared, you lose focus on the deep work you're doing. But then a lot of businesses say to us, well, we're a reactive business, we need to get this done or that done. We're a reactive business, we're a managed IT support provider. If one of our customers is having a challenge, we need to be reactive and we need to be on it. But we can manage that by having what we call daily huddles or daily stand-ups. They can be managed. And prior to COVID, we used to have daily huddles in the office, which we're back in the office, so we'll continue to do that. But again, we could also have a weekly management meeting, like we do. That's effective again. So making sure that we have got designated time to work on the business, and also designated time throughout the day to also understand what red flags are going on. So roll that forward into the world of COVID and reacting to the new normal, as we would class it as. It's still no more prevalent than it ever has been prior. We still need to be scheduling face-to-face meetings. That's just changed now to video and telephone, like we've just shown. We need to start using chat for internal communications, and that's so we can have one-to-ones with our team, check in. We've designated training development plans, skills matrices, same page meetings, working on process, developing ideas, working on projects within our chat. And then we use email only for information. That is what email's for. So it's for external clients, communications, because that's how email is. But we're using it for information only. So we might need to send that information on to a member of the team, FYI. But a lot of the time, we use a dedicated ticketing sort of CRM system. Our main comms for our customers are in that solution. And if we do need to send email, we are sending email via our CRM system, but we will send emails sometimes internally, FYI. For example, I might be out and about and I might not have the time to get that into the dedicated chat room that it needs to. I can just quickly ping an email to the guys, FYI, and then when I get a chance, I'll either put it into one of the rooms or someone else might do that for me. But we need to be taking our email, and we need to turn our email into tasks as we teach, and really push that forward. So we're up to the point of questions. I will put the Q&A on. Let's have a quick look. There's a chat. Let's have a look. So there's a couple of questions that came in terms of improving remote working procedures and practices. So that is a fantastic question. It all starts with, what is your digital strategy? What tools have you got available? What method, what channels have you got? So have you got email? Have you got video messaging? Have you got chat? And then it's understanding how work gets done within your organization. Then we can be starting to develop standard operating procedures, like the communication strategy framework I've just put together there. So that'd be a good example of how you can improve remote working policies and procedures. And again, I think surveying your team and asking, what works for them, because another great example on this is we all have different communication styles. We all have different learning styles. I'm very visual, so I need a whiteboard to learn, get my ideas out of my head. And when I speak, I like to be in front of people. I like to use my hands a lot. Whereas my business partner, for example, he likes to learn from reading, and he learns a lot different to me. So it's understanding as well, I think, when we're developing these remote working policies and procedures, we're really understanding the different learning styles of our staff and our teams. So we can really, really understand and develop learning and policy and procedures that fix, work for our visual learners, our auditory learners, and our sort of kinesthetic learners who learn through trial, error, touch, and feel. Because I also think that is a big challenge at the moment for remote working. There's a lot of benefits for, as I would see it, more mature sort of workers who see it as an opportunity where they can get more, they can fit better in with the work-life balance at home. They can take the kids to school. They can look at moving further out of the cities, get bigger houses, work more remotely, and have more sort of quality time with the family that side. And we need to be designing our policy and procedures around the younger generation coming through, because they still need the coaching, the mentoring within the office, but also some of the more mature. Me certainly, I really miss the office environment, catching up with people, checking our culture, and just having the office chat, what's going on, what's happened, and so it's making sure that when we're devising our policies and procedures that we are looking at that. Other question that's come in, another great question, is to learn best practice for effective remote working, and to understand more about the range of technologies and processes available to do this well. So again, I'll mention this a bit more on the Digital Catalyst scheme that I'm going to talk about in a moment. There's funding available, so companies can go through a digital design sprint. So we can look at what you're currently doing now, and we can look at where we're heading, and we can help design that. And I will be going through that in a second, or you can sign up to that, and or you can find out more. It's called a Digital Catalyst scheme. But I think that there's a range of technologies out there, and it all comes back down to what value are you trying to offer to the market, and how are you doing that. And I think rolling it back, it just comes back to that effective communication piece. So, if we look at how are we going to get work, our value capture, I would say, how are we prospecting, how are we getting in front of our customers? So a good example of that, with COVID, we've all struggled to go out and do face-to-face meetings. There's some great piece of technology out there. I think I'll try and think of a couple of them, but a great piece of technology I'm using is a product called Loom. Fantastic bit of kit. I can record a quick video, quick introduction. I struggle because I'm dyslexic anyway, so I struggle with written communication to a point, but it allows me to do a quick video message, a quick introduction, and take what would be a really long email and put that into a video. And also, I can still get that typed up because I can use AI to automatically type that up, and I can also put that into the email. So not only when I'm communicating, I've got a video for a visual learner, and I can communicate more emotion and more feeling throughout that, rather than being quite blunt. Because sometimes when I send emails, because of being dyslexic, I can be very 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, very sort of blunt, but it's not meant like that. It's just that the way my brain works, I struggle to get effective communication in written word. And it's looking at like tools like that so you can innovate. And that's the same as well with inside the value delivery, how you train your staff, how you're developing. So there's loads of great effective tools to really help with remote working. Understanding the benefits of home working, to be able to discuss them with the management team. Again, we'll be sharing these slides out. So again, and this webinar will be pre-recorded, so there'll be reruns. So what I would suggest is sharing that with your management team, going through that and starting at the foundations, like I've already mentioned, effective communication, because it all lies on what is effective communication, and looking at how you're going to get work done remotely, and just trying to step that out, in baby steps, and work that up through, because otherwise we can get really burnt out once we start looking to all the technology, because every piece of technology has different features, different benefits, and that's what you need to be an expert in, who can look at that strategy of what you're trying to achieve and guide you and coach you in the right way. Another great question that's just come in. Again, I've just picked that up actually, best practices. So I'll lead now into some of the questions that was mentioned. So digital technology adoption support available. So there's some great support available under the Humber Growth Hub .co.uk, so you can check that out there. But so you can understand these weekly webinars, and the next one is Monday the 11th, and not August, that's Monday, the 11th of September. And I've just put this link here, and I will share these out on chat. I'm just going to do a quick poll as well. If I can see everyone who's on attendance, if we can just do a quick poll. So I'm just going to launch a quick poll for some feedback, please, on this. Let's have a look. So if everyone can just please check the chat, and I'll run that for a couple of minutes. And if you could just give some feedback on the webinar, please. And then what we've also got, while that poll's going on, these links to the digital resources, and I'll put these into the chat for you at the end. Oops, where's that gone? So we can share that. And some great resources on the Grow My SME digital resources page. There'll be access to this webinar again. So like we just mentioned, one of the attendees mentioned, how can we discuss this with the management team? You could jump onto there, get the webinar, and you could share that link out. So your management team could watch that, and then you guys could have a meeting around the topics covered within this. There's also an Eventbrite link for future webinars, which I'll share out in a moment. And then also, if you are looking for support around the topics covered, you can register your interest at the growmysme.co.uk inquiry now. And that's so you can become we can work out if you're eligible for our full suite of business support. What that allows is access to business grants and investment advisory, one-to-one business support for growth advisory sessions, one-to-one expert mentoring sessions, supply chain network, digital catalyst, and business scale-up support programs. So I'm one of the digital technology experts that work on the scheme, focused on effective communication, digital school tools and technologies on that. So the digital catalyst is a great scheme that we help facilitate and we run. The digital catalyst is a one-to-one expert support for your business, support available, digital benchmark, so we can measure what where you are now against your competitors, and we can see where you are. So you get a real good digital benchmark of where you are. You get expert support on what that throws up. So if it is, for example, you're struggling to remote work, we can get some expert support where we can come in and do a digital adoption project or a design sprint. Then we put you a digital action plan together, so you could see, what the next steps are. We could, write reports, give you some real good one-to-one support on what good looks like. Then we can look at different providers out there who can deliver these different services, and then help you get the right technology that fits your people and your process. So in a nutshell, the Digital Catalyst offers bespoke one-to-one support for your business from expert technology specialists. Our approach is simulating through thought-provoking and challenging ideas. So the whole idea is we question why are you doing it like that? How could you do that better? And we're helping your teams to develop and inspire different creativity. With examples I use with Andy's Man Club, what we did. Keep in mind it's a charity that cash is absolute king. How can we pivot? How can we change? How can we do things differently so we can effectively adopt technology across the business? And then we assist with any aspects of digital technology adoption, including working more effectively, developing new products and services, enhancing your customer offering, attracting and retaining staff, and keeping your cyber safe. But that's a massive, part of it, making sure we're adding all this wonderful value, but are we being safe and secure with our online digital strategy? And then also on top of that, after the initial digital catalyst has gone through, we can also help you with access to support and funding moving forward. And then hand-holding to get you started, as we mentioned, and making sure that we can fast track you to get the right solutions to fix them business pains that you've got. So some examples of projects there's a massive list. Move operations to the cloud, consolidating technology and infrastructure, tools and applications to increase productivity, introducing e-commerce and different tools you can be using for that, cybersecurity, online accounting, implementing customer relationship management tools. And the Digital Catalyst is helping you overcome challenges of adopting digital technology, including identifying which technology can add value to your business, judge which options offer value for money. And again, there's a big key point on that. It's not always down to the investment in terms of cold hard cash. It's down to, we benchmark that across the impact that's going to have on the business, to the time, that you might have to invest in it, to the skill sets you've got in the business, and is it absolutely the right fit? You know, is it going to, and also is it the right fit across the way you get work, the way you do work, and the way you administrate that work? We really challenge that in a positive manner to really make sure that that is the right solution for you. And then we understand the knock-on changes that will be required. So, do you understand the cloud computing? Do you understand security? You know, the government framework, cyber essentials framework. Do you understand that? And even though you understand it, do you know how to achieve them standards, and can you work to them standards? And then we identify how different technologies will integrate into existing systems and processes. And then how to implement and manage technology on an ongoing basis. And then outcomes that we've provide, you know, real and lasting impact. So increased business agile and flexibility, resilience, growth, higher profits, increased efficiency, reduce your costs so you can deliver more for less. Enhance customer experience so you can continue to have that unique and that special value that customers are now looking and demanding. And you can also, more importantly as well with that, make sure we're attracting and retaining staff so we can really drive that value to our customers. And underpinning that is a foundation, is making sure we're designing cyber secure and resilient systems. So how can we find out more? The Digital Catalyst team, contact details are here. So you can call us on 01482 686 700. You can drop an email to digitalcatalyst@winningmoves.com. And you can also go to the website, Grow My SME /ICT Digital Catalyst. So thank you for attending. It's been a fantastic webinar. I'm just going to check if there's any more chats on there. Let's have a quick look. So Helen Smith, very informative and relevant to exactly what I'm aiming to do with our business. I would like to some coaching on this if possible. Yep. So I'll just go back and I'll get you the link. I'll make sure I share that. Just give me a second. I will share the link for you. Helen, if you can just take a note of them details there, and if you can drop a contact in there, and then the team will go through that. Again, I'm one of the digital experts on there. If you're saying that it is relevant to exactly what you're looking to in your business, and we can be drafted in to help you and support you on that journey. Just check if there's any more questions. No. Okay, thank you. I hope it was an informative webinar, and we'll be sending this out in email as well. So thank you. That's Leon McQuaid, Think Cloud.